Hey guys, my name is Claire. I am a student at The Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. I'm 18 years old, I am a lesbian, and I'm here to tell you something you have heard 100 times over, but probably never truly believed. It gets better. I'm going to assume that you're LGBTQ, and right now you're watching this video because you just need a guiding hand. Life for you right now is hell. You've probably contemplated suicide, if not attempted it. And for that, I am very sorry, because it really does get better. I should probably start by giving you a brief glimpse into my story. I come from a very small town called South Charleston, Ohio. If you've heard of it, well, that's unfortunate, because as nice a community it is very religiously based. Everybody's up in everybody else's business, and that's not good for a person like me, or you, or anybody else like us, LGBTQ. I was the only openly gay person in my school. For a long time, I didn't even know that anybody else in the school was gay. And then towards the end of my senior year, 2 of my friends came out to me. And since then, they have come out. They have me to talk to every single day if they need to. I try to keep in touch with them as frequently as possible because I don't want them to go what I went through. I came to terms with my sexuality when I was about 12, if not sooner. I realized that I had never been actually attracted to any boy, any man, anything, that I looked at girls in that way. So it was very hard for me to come to terms with my sexuality because I was supposed to be, the good child. I had good grades and, I did sports and I was very involved. I was musically talented, and I just could not let that ruin my image, so to speak. I immersed myself in a culture that hated LGBTQ persons, and I tried to convince myself up and down that I was not gay, and it was not healthy for me. I made myself vomit for a while. I cut myself on my legs. Fortunately, you can't see the scars anymore. I did a lot of things to try to convince myself that I was not what I truly am. And that was very painful. And eventually I stopped. I said, look, this is who you are. You can't change that. What you are is something beautiful. It doesn't matter who you love so long as you love, and how much you love. And once I came to terms with that, things were good for a very long time. And then I decided that it was time to try to come out to a couple of people. I tried coming out to my mother. Unfortunately, the timing was not good. We were in the midst of this huge argument, and I stopped, looked her in the eye, and I said, "Mom, I'm gay." And with so much disdain in her voice and contempt, she looked at me and she said, "No, you're not. No, you're not." Now, that may seem comical, but at the time, it was just her complete and utter rejection that could even happen, that her daughter could be gay. That was very painful. So that subject was dropped between us for a while. I tried coming out to my best friend. We had been inseparable since the 6th grade, so I thought that she would be okay with it, or at least that she would try to help me through whatever conflict I was going through. And so one night we were working on a team project, and this was during sophomore year of high school, and I said, "I'm gay," and she stopped and looked at me. And for a moment she didn't say anything, then she just shrugged, "Okay," and went back to working. And I thought, oh, that's awesome, this is her sign of acceptance. But after we turned in that project together, she did not speak to me again. And I had to find a new best friend, but the same thing happened. And then it happened again, and again. And eventually I was left alone. And I didn't know what to do, who to turn to. I was so afraid of telling anybody anything that might even hint at me being a lesbian. And I saw no other way out. So I I attempted suicide. It's very hard to look back and realize that I was that desperate at one point. I realize now that what I wanted was not death, it was peace, but at the time they were synonyms. So I waited for my mom to go out with some friends late at night, and I looked up how to make a noose online. And I went out into our barn, and I made steps using hay bales. And I stepped down, hoping that nobody would try to stop me. And for a while, I had no concept of time. I can remember my legs kicking, and I wasn't telling them to, and things got fuzzy, and the light was too bright, and then all of a sudden I heard this loud crack. And when I came to, I was face down in the dirt and the hay on the ground. The rope had snapped. And it was about an hour until I sat there and just cried, because I realized that that wasn't what I wanted. It's very hard to realize that if I had gone through my suicide, then I wouldn't have experienced the wonderful things that I have today. I have gone through bullying. I got tripped, got stuff knocked out of my hands, I got taunted by people, got back-talked. Girls would ask me to leave the locker room so that they could change. People talked about me behind my back. I got threats in my locker that somebody had written down. They were notes. So, high school itself was not easy at all. There were times when I almost got that desperate again, but then I just realized, I just have to stick this out, and college is going to be so much better, and it is. So, I have experienced so many wonderful things since that point. I got my first girlfriend. We met actually because of band, and it's actually a very dorky story, which is for another time, but it was a wonderful experience, even though we ended up breaking up. It was a very nasty breakup. I had another girlfriend for a shorter period of time, and she was very nice as well. I've made so many new friends from PrideOSU and the LGBTQ first year cohort here at OSU, and I have this very strong community that I can always rely on if I need anything, whether it's related to LGBTQ topics or not. And right now, I'm sort of seeing this girl that is probably one of the most amazing people that I've ever met. And it makes me sad to know that a couple years ago I was at the point where I was willing to give this all up, where I was willing to not experience all of this happiness. I am having the time of my life right now. There are hard points with my classes. There's hard points realizing that I'm not out to my brother yet, or my grandparents, or half my family, but you know what, that's okay, because I know that times are gonna look up. I got out of hell once, I can do it again, and so can you. Looking back, I wish that I could tell myself that it gets better. I didn't have access to videos like these. I didn't have access to other people who had been through this. I was completely alone. But you are not. I'm here. All of PrideOSU is here. LGBTQ first year cohort is here. You have the internet, which is a wonderful thing and a horrible thing at the same time, but you have access to so many people that love you and that care about you and that realize what you're going through is not going to be easy. I'm not telling you that it's going to be easy, because it's not. It's going to be the hardest time of your life. But it's so worth it. It really is. You just can't let them get to you. When I was going through this rough point in my life, I woke up every morning and I said, anybody can give up. It is the easiest thing to do. But to keep going, to keep breathing, and to keep fighting, when everybody else would understand if you just laid down and died. That's true strength. And from this true strength, we find beauty. From this strength, we find happiness. You guys are beautiful.